So today, man, me and the wife were riding around, and I gave her the opportunity to play her playlist in my car. Not always the best of ideas, but hey, man, compromise, right? It's what you do in a relationship. So she was playing Cardi B. Go figure. Miss WAP, Miss WAP herself, right? So in the process of listening to this song while it was on the Spotify playlist, I was listening to the lyrics, and the lyrics read verbatim. Something to the effect of, I am always popping shit, pulling up and dropping shit. Gotta argue with them cause a nigga love a toxic bitch. I'll put the lyrics somewhere on the screen if I didn't get those words right. But in the song called Up, those were the lyrics that she spit in the song. Now, I'm a thinking man, right? So when I heard it, I was thinking, I was like, this shit don't make sense. But then it dawned on me. You know, I often hear my big bro, O'Shea Duke Jackson, and also the homie, Anton Daniels, often talking about the concept of struggle love, right? And I often think, why is it that a lot of these men choose to continue dating or being in relationships that are toxic, dealing with women in the West and things like that? Why do they continue dealing with women that are likely going to give them the biggest headaches and things like that? I often think that shit. And right there, it hit me. A lot of these guys are addicted to toxic relationships. Here I am thinking that's a female trait. They like toxic dudes, the Pookies, the Ray Rays. You know what I'm saying? These are the guys who seem to get the majority of the women because they're the bad boys. They're edgy and things like that. But ultimately, on the flip side, I do believe that there are a group of men that are really addicted to the struggle of, addicted to being with women and young ladies where they argue with constantly because they feel that if you're arguing and you're in whatever it is, the passion behind it, it always is going to end to some probably pretty decent makeup sex. So they get into arguments, deal with these women for the sex part. So it's a very passionate relationship, or at least it comes off or it's perceived as being a passionate relationship. Yeah, we argue, we fuss and fight, but yeah, man, the sex is good, this, that, and the other. There are guys out here, honestly, that are addicted to the struggle of toxic young ladies. And I believe these are the guys that are the biggest advocates for continuing to date women in the West. The bad ones, the toxic ones, the ones that really don't necessarily have your best interests at heart. Again, not saying all the women in the Western world are fucked up. I'm just saying that sometimes you see these guys in relationships and they arguing with a female constantly, and you sitting back in the cut like, shit, it can't be me. But you often looking at them like, bro, why are you still with this girl? She's a headache and a half. She gives you nothing but shit every day, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can go down the list of all of the reasons why he should break up with her. But yet and still he continues to be with her, and you can't figure it out. And yes, I might be slow to the table with this one. Yes, I might be the last one to figure this out, but guys might actually be addicted to the struggle love shit. Why? The guys that I think continuously choose to date in the West after having a series of failed relationships in the West, and they still continue to deal with these young ladies, they got to be addicted to it if they haven't tried, or they continue to shit on guys who utilize their passport to go abroad. It just can't be any other way for me. Maybe y'all see it different, but for me, I can't imagine being in a relationship, being with a young lady that I argue with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in the hopes that the passionate of the makeup sex keeps me in the game, because that toxicity. And sometimes, guys, it ain't even just arguments. Sometimes that shit get violent, bro. Sometimes you get violent, like y'all physically try to harm each other in whatever way you can, and I think that's crazy. If there's one thing my father told me, son, if you ever are in a relationship and you get to the point where you even think about putting your hands on a woman in a very, very bad way. Basically, if you ever feel like physically assaulting a woman in any capacity because she's pissed you off, you better run you gotta run as fast as you can in the other direction, as far away as you can. And I never really thought about it because, again, that's not where my mind is, man. I don't really think about that. I'd feel atrocious in myself if I ever did anything like that. But it makes sense because I see it in a lot of people arguing, fussing, fighting, right? And sometimes you have the Captain Save 'em all, the ones out here that are trying to save these women when they get into arguments with their man and stuff. And these guys trying to come in and help end up getting messed up as a result. So these toxic relationships not only affect people that are in the relationship, it affects the people around you too. Or people that may be spectators on the outside looking in. Because you've heard stories about guys trying to save women because they arguing with a man, or they might be having an altercation with a man in public, and you try to step up to be a man, to be all chivalrous and shit, and then that guy ends up getting killed or hurt in any capacity. That shit crazy. And then the girl ends up leaving with the guy she was in an argument with. That happens all the time. And again, it has to be these guys are addicted to that struggle love shit. I didn't think it was real. Honestly, but again, I think differently, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys who utilize their passport that think differently as well. Right now, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that you are not likely to experience dealing with women that'll give you headaches abroad. But what I am saying is, you ain't going to sit there and continue dealing with that shit, knowing that it ain't going to benefit you down the line. All right. You ain't gonna continue dealing with nonsense. I would hope that any man in his right mind would not continue dealing with nonsense with the young lady, and knowing that it's not beneficial, knowing that it's not helpful abroad, right? Because of the options we have, man, I can't imagine a guy continuing to deal with a woman that has a toxic mentality. I kind of feel like in the United States, a lot of these guys deal with it. If they're not addicted to it, the reason they stay with it is because they're scared. They're afraid they can't find anything better. They're afraid that this is the best that they can actually do. And that's what really makes me sad about my guys in my community. They feel like the women that they're dealing with is the best that they could possibly do for themselves. You know who I'm talking about. You know the brothers. You've seen them. Everybody's got a friend. Everybody's got somebody that they know. Whether they're friends or not, you know somebody that's dealing with the young lady that you know for a fact is not good for them at all. All they do is argue, fuss, and fight. Maybe she's a baby mama, maybe she's not, but the relationship ain't going nowhere. But all they do is just fucking go at each other time and time and time again. But yet and still, he's still in that relationship. You can have a conversation with him, like myself. I've had conversations with a lot of my friends about, y'all should come to the Philippines with me just one time, bro. I think you guys would have a dope-ass time. It'll be fun. You're not tied down. You're not married or anything. If I'm going next month or the next couple of months down the line, y'all should come check it out. I've invited my friends often, or at least people that I know often, to give them a differing perspective of relationships. Nah, bro, I'm good, man. I don't want to deal with them women over there, bro, man. I'm good, bro. I don't know. Them women, they just gold diggers and, shit like that. You know what they say. They're just gold diggers and they just want the passport, bro. They just want their own green card, shit like that, man. Y'all don't want to do that. Once you start making those talking points there, I kind of just stop because there's no way I can convince you otherwise. So, Cardi B, you just might be onto something. I thought it was a joke, right? Not a joke, but when I listen to it and I think about the relationships that guys that I know have with their significant others here in the West, I'm like, hey, man, better you than me, but I wish that you would change your ways. And I guess guys are truly addicted to toxic women. That's sad. All right? Appreciate you guys locking in. If you enjoyed the comment, please feel free to please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. This has been The Good Doc. If you want to support in any capacity, you already know how you guys can do that. Appreciate you guys supporting the movement. Doc's on to the next one. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.